Alright, hello and welcome everybody. We're going to be playing some Legacy today. And it's no less than good old, good old Green-White Reclaimer. This deck is just awesome, man. I'm such a fan of this deck. And the fact that it kind of works in Legacy, it's pretty sweet. So we brewed up this deck last week. We started off with a list. We went 2 and 3. Then we made a couple of tweaks. We went 3 and 2, and then finally we made even more tweaks, trying to help the host of the deck. We saw a couple of cards that were a little bit too underwhelming, and they wouldn't just do whatever I wanted them to do. I was particularly disappointed by the Archon of Valor's Reach not being great. Of course, the reason for that being that in the matchups where you want it, the 6 mana is a little bit too much of a cost, and it just didn't end up working out. So we ended up making the switch for Archon of Emeria instead, which is not something that you can sin it for, but in the matchups where you really need it, even the fact that you can sin it. We don't have Gaia's Cradle, we are not elves, right? So you're not able to put this guy into play fast enough, which made it a little bit ineffective. Sorry, we're getting the cards from Mana Traders here. So after making those changes, we actually tried out again, and we managed to 4-1 the first league. So definitely making some progress there. And then I think it was the day after, or a couple of days after, Bedell, who is a regular personality over here on the stream, he actually went ahead and he 4-1'd a prelim. Like, he went 4-0 with a list very similar to the one that we brought up here in a Legacy preliminary. So the deck definitely has legs, or at least it has more legs than I expected. And it's of course just like the modern version. It's an absolute blast to play. So a couple of the changes that I made is, after a couple of leagues, I felt like I wanted to go up to the 4th copy of Wasteland, and I also wanted the 2nd copy of Field of the Dead. In my list, my previous list, I didn't have the 2nd field. So what that did is, like, if I didn't have access to Raminap, my opponent would just Wasteland my Field of the Dead, and I would feel like I was like I was a little bit far behind. So the 2nd copy of Field made its way as the 30th land. As you're gonna see here, I was playing 29 last week, and the 4th copy of Wasteland also found its way into the list. Any other changes? Well, as I was saying, I cut the Archon, and I think that everything else is pretty much the same. We have the 3 Once Upon a Times, 1 Oof. We do have Thalias in this deck. Thalia, unlike Modern, it's a very, very important card in Legacy against certain strategies. But I think that's kind of it. Yeah, so the Archon had to move to the sideboard in order to make room for the 30th land, but everything else is pretty much the same that we've been working with. Definitely Silence against the combo decks, Source of Pleasures as removal, obviously, Archon against combo, this against Artifact and Enchantment decks. Of course, it's kind of like an extra copy of Skyclave Apparition, this card which has been very, very impressive to me. A couple of Veils, Force of Vigor, Shifting Ceratops against all the blue decks, particularly the Oko decks. Surgical Extraction and Mindbreak Trap against Graveyard and against Spell-based combo, respectively. So there are still a couple of cards that I wish that we have room for, but that I have not been able to, at least for now. Those cards would be Palace Jailer. Palace Jailer is definitely a card that I am a fan of in this kind of strategy, in this kind of a little bit similar to Maverick in a way. So Palace Jailer is a card that I do like a lot, particularly against Show and Tell decks. What else? Palace Jailer is definitely the big one that I was not able to fit. I feel like there was something else that I wanted to play and I couldn't find room for. We'll cross the bridge when we get there. But yeah, the Delver matchup has felt, I don't want to say good, but it has at least felt winnable. It has definitely felt like it's pretty winnable. Path to Exile would be another consideration for the sideboard, but I think that we're just super weak to combo, right? Like that's our biggest. Ooh, we have Splinter Twin. Hell yeah. That's our biggest disadvantage, right? Like the lack of interaction against combo. Preordain. So I have to assume that we're playing against some form of combo deck. So I'm going to. It's a fetch land. Just gonna play Reclaimer on one. Also, strongly recommend that you play Caracas if you're gonna be playing this deck. Which was one of the mistakes that I made in the original list. I'm going for the basic planes here. The reason for that is if I draw another Reclaimer. If I draw another Reclaimer, I want to make sure that I can play Reclaimer plus Swords to Plowshares, basically. So it's just blue-red Delver. We get to kill one of these threats. The question is which one? They rebuild Force of Negation. Man, our hand is just not coming together, right? We just drew land every single turn. Just Lightning Bolt. Zenith. So I guess that we've seen it for the full amount, right? We're just gonna get forced anyway, right? But if this somehow happens to resolve, I'm not so scared of Daze, but I'd rather go for the line that would actually allow me to kill my opponent, which is to find a Dryad with this, and then we can start triggering Valakut. Yeah, so it was gonna be the same regardless. So I'd rather go for Broke and go for the line that actually gives me an out to win this game. Dread Horde. Well, so our best draw would be like if we draw another Zenith or we draw a Dryad, I think we actually win this game. We can still find a Dryad here. Yes! Yes! Yes, chat. Yes! Wow, we're just turning this game around in a second. Holy crap. Whoo! Wow. You tell me, Arkin. You tell me if this is a meme or there's something here. Sorry, the deck is perfect. Exactly. No bad matchups, only bad people, yeah. Wow, that was such a crazy turn of events. I thought I was absolutely dead, and then like one top deck, and that was it. Just one single top deck, and this is now lethal, huh? Yep. This is just lethal. One draw step to change it all. Awesome. Alright, Shifting Ceratops is great here. So is Plow, and so is Veil. Archon has been interesting. I still have not been able to figure out whether I want this card or not in this matchup. Cut a Tracker. Can probably cut a Wasteland actually in this matchup. I don't think, like, Bog is bad, but like I might need it against Arcanist. Off towards the full, will catch you on the tube or in a couple of hours. Alright, 3 Friars. Who's playing today? Like American football or like football soccer? Haven't played in a while. How's the deck in Modern? Very good. What is his face? I streamed it yesterday, so you can go to my YouTube channel. I've been streaming a lot of that deck because, well, it's my baby, so I am very proud of that deck. So we're probably gonna have to expect some merge and stuff like that. I don't think that changes much. I kind of want to cut the one off prime time. Maybe it's just crazy. Real football, England versus Denmark. Sweet. Is the England team good? I was super into football back in 2011. No, like in 06. In 2006, back when like Terry was in the English team. Terry was a beast. Gerard was a beast. I don't even know the name of any of any players anymore. Is there a guide on the Patreon? There's gonna be tonight. Tonight, no, this Friday. Sorry, what is his face? I'm writing a guide right now for this list, for my latest list at least. This Pokemon stream looks weird. You know what? Like I was so this comes from Spike's stream where I was somebody commented on the Pokemon TCG game, and I was actually super into that game right before I got into Magic. In fact, I got into Magic because I was so good at that game that I would just like win every single... At my LGS, I was good, right? I never played like competitively or anything, but like I would just get bored. Like I was 12, right? So I would get bored because I would always end up first or second with my other friend, which we collected cards together with. And either he would end up first and me second or vice versa. Like it was that week in and week out. And then he got a deck of Magic cards, which was the deck Psychotalk from back in the day. And that's how I got into Magic, because I gave him all of my Pokemon cards. Like he gave me all of his Magic cards, and I was a full-on Magic player at that point. Yeah, I'm gonna ship this hand. Not enough action. This hand has action, all right. And we even get to put back the Drydiver. Oh, Kriegasm. But yeah, I could see maybe at some point playing some Pokemon on the stream. Just gonna jam. If we get dazed, we get dazed. Don't want force into Flaxen someone ban this guy. It's basically Splinter Twin, right? Basically Splinter Twin, Mr. Lee. Opponent with the upkeep Brainstorm to flip the Delver. And the ugly art Brainstorm. You'd better have a Bolt opponent, because things are not gonna go well for you otherwise. Ooh, yikes. And so it begins. Tasty. So it begins. It's nice to see Delver in Legacy, such a neat deck that never gets in love. Yeah, I know. Such an underplayed strategy. It seems like if people cared about breaking it, they could, right? BTCGO has a good interface, but super similar to Arena in pay in no payout. How expensive is it? This Arcanist? I'm not too worried about that. My opponent better have a Force of Will, because otherwise they're gonna get Dryaded. Gonna get Dryaded, opponent. Gonna get so Dryaded. We just do this main right now to play around my opponent's wasteland. Vala. Oh no, my Valakut is in my hand. I only have one here. Brutal. Well, I guess we're gonna bog them then. I forgot that we're only playing one Valakut in this list. Whoopsies. I thought we had a second one. This was a huge punt, obviously, right? Obviously a massive, massive punt. We don't have Blast Zone. I think we have to do that. It means we don't trigger field, but if they don't flip Delver, like we have outs to draw now. Man, that was such a bad mistake. Like we should have been able to, like we would have been super fine here. We also don't have Radiant Fountain, I don't think. No. It's not too expensive, but the economy is scuffed AF. It's based on the pack codes you get from the real world packs you buy. Oh, yikes. That's actually very smart of them. Excuse me. I am Furious You with the Prem sub, coming back for 5 months now. Thank you so much for the continued support. I'm Furious You. Welcome back to the Primetime Stronghold. Opponent chose to not shuffle. What else you got, OP? Just attack for 3. So we need something like a Ceratops or something. So they're just like chump attacking with Arcanist. Which is interesting, and they didn't cast the Ponder? That's also kind of weird. I guess I want to sack the Savannah. I guess I have another one. Yeah, I'm gonna get a fetch land here. The reason to get a fetch land is that we can play around my opponent's double wasteland here. We can at least shoot. If we draw a Dryad, we can shoot down this Delver. Something good. Thalia. So that probably means that we're dead. That probably definitely means that we're dead. Probably definitely. No, I don't play Mace. It wouldn't be good, right? Like, they have double wasteland, so it wouldn't. Mace would actually not work. No flip? Excuse me? Okay, so what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna wasteland their wasteland so we can start setting something up. And whatever they target with their... Okay. I guess that just works, huh? I was gonna say, whatever they target with their wasteland, we just sack. Dino. I guess Dino doesn't work anymore. So we have to get the Dryad. So make a field token. Dryad. Valakut here. And if they wasteland, we fetch in response and we Valakut the other one. Get a 1/1, sure. Valakut the other one. Yes, kill that one. Wasteland resolves, kill that one too. Swing. Let's go. So we're dead to Lightning Bolt. Gotta love back-to-back misclicks as my opponent. Passed on a 2-for-1. How did I punt? I don't think I punted. I wanted to use the fetch land so I could respond to their wasteland so I could kill both things. Punted by not hitting the red source earlier. Maybe. Yeah, maybe, I don't know, maybe I forgot. Or I didn't. Yeah, maybe I did make a mistake there. Anyway. Yeah, maybe I did make a mistake earlier, but like I don't think I made a mistake in that sequence. I think that sequence actually played around what my opponent could have done there. Yeah, not in that sequence, yeah. Okay, so things to be aware of. What is his face? With tier 1 sub. Welcome back for the 3rd month in a row. What is his face? Appreciate you being here. Sad face. Happy face. Cool. So I think we're gonna keep this, and I guess I bottom the Titan. We can get it down the road if we need it. Easy. That's kind of tempting. Yep, let's do that. The point of doing this, obviously, is to like delay my opponent's game plan and to make it so by the time the Reclaimer comes down, it's a 3/4 and I can play around Lightning Bolt. Or they don't have a red source. That also works. Now the question is, do I want to play around days? I think we don't play around days. And we can't play around Bolt until next turn, so I'm not going. Oh no, I should have actually done this, so I can sack Flagstones next turn. But if we get days, that means no Arcanist, right? So that's a good thing for me. And then we can library on the following turn. Yeah. It's interesting that you're running 2 fields. I prefer 2 Valakuts. You're fine to round this out. Yeah. Oof, we got a Force. Let's go, Reclaimer. Goifo. Okay, so they definitely don't have... I think I'm just gonna library here. Harry MTG with the raid. Welcome everybody from Harry's stream. We're playing some Legacy here. Green-white Reclaimer in Legacy. I was not expecting them to have days there, considering that they forced my other dude. Unknown Nivlo, thank you for the follow. Our draws have not been working out. How did your stream end up, Harry? I saw you dominating with some Stoneblade. Take 4. Man, I was really banking on that library resolving. Like now, we're in bad shape. Hoodie Mandrills. Yeah, this is not working out, folks. It's not looking good. Drawing cards would have definitely helped our chances, I'm gonna say as much. Actually, drawing cards would have helped our chances, for sure. Arcanist. Yep. Okay. This was game 1. So we literally just played a very similar matchup, so we're probably gonna sideboard pretty similarly. So we got those in, got this one, cut this one, cut this one, cut. Sodek with the raid too, playing some. I saw that you were playing some Legacy, Sodek. How's the format treating you? Welcome everybody from Sodek's stream. Did I cut a Wasteland last time? I think that's what I cut. Maybe I should cut some Thalias on the draw. But on the play, I like Thalia. Yeah, like because of Eternal Weekend. Yeah, have you found your deck for Eternal Weekend so far? Yeah. Let's keep this. Show and tell probably. Have you been doing well with it? It's a sweet deck, so. Oh, please force me. No force. Unlucky. For 1 on stream. Yeah. Easy and it's a combo. Yep, that sounds about right. Sounds like exactly what you would want to be doing. No surprises there. Oh, right on time, dude. So I guess I'm just gonna play Thalia here, because next turn we can play Reclaimer and we can make it a 3/4, so we would be playing around Lightning Bolt very nicely. Also playing around Wasteland. The only bad thing is that, obviously, yeah, this is fine, whatever. The only bad thing is that we are not going to have Veil of Summer. So if my opponent has like Submerge or something, that could be a problem. Second Delver might be annoying. We'll see. If they flip now, I'm gonna be in a lot of trouble. Yeah, this was the problem, right? Like by playing around Wasteland, I just cut myself off of Veil. Now go to sleep. All right, have a good night. Shifting setup seems like a house. Yeah, but you kind of have to like be able to cast it, right? So by playing around my opponent's potential wastelands, I ended up like locking myself out, right? If my opponent casted for Speech in Daze and I just veil that and I resolve Reclaimer, I think that we can never lose. But now we didn't draw a removal spell. I also locked myself out of casting Apparition, which is super annoying. Because Apparition would be pretty sick right now. Kind of feels like all of this just backfired on me. Brutal. Like we just have to chump because otherwise we're just dead. Feels bad, man. We couldn't even get advantage of the extra land drop. Yeah, all of this just was terrible. Okay. Yeah, maybe I should have just not played around my opponent having... I think that was the quote-unquote mistake there. The other thing would have been to just get a land off of their reclaim or off of the Once Upon a Time, because like if we had found lands there, I think we would have been in great shape, and we knew about the Ceratops in our hand, and the Ceratops would have been great. So maybe I should have tried, instead of getting the Thalia, which would have delayed my opponent a little bit, maybe I should have just been playing towards the Ceratops from the very beginning. So instead of getting a Thalia from the Once Upon a Time, I could have gotten a land, and then we're just Gucci, right? Yeah, maybe I play that game a little bit. Just misevaluating things, right? Like maybe. No, I liked the early Wasteland because like the Colorless Source again, like it was actively doing something for me. Definitely keeping this hand. The Wasteland being in the graveyard made it so my Reclaimers would be stronger, right? I was trying to play around Lightning Bolt on my Reclaimer. The reason that part did not end up working out is because I didn't... And even if I had the Wasteland in play, it's still a colored source, and we only had one green source and one white source, so... The mistake was when I Once Upon a Time, I should have gotten a land instead of a Thalia. That was the mistake, I think. Yeah, we got Twin online here. Ooh, Eldrazi? Eldrazi, you say? There's kind of no way that this is not a great matchup for us, right? I think we pass. We can take 4 here. Even if they thought not, it doesn't really matter too much. If they Chalice, it matters a little bit more. But it still doesn't matter that much. We could also get a Wasteland. I think I'm just gonna get another Flagstones though. And we also have the option of just like blocking and doing the Flagstone Strict to make the Reclaimer into a 3/4, so we get like a free... My opponent gets a Chump attack. The problem is that that doesn't develop our mana, and we can still do that thing next turn. This is a Smasher. Okay. I think we just take this. This is 9 down to 10. I think this is just perfectly fine. Because now we get another Flagstones. And now we get to play Reclaimer. Play my land. And now my opponent can't attack with this guys. And I can just pull out the Smasher. And we also get to activate so we continue ramping. So I think that we're just in really good shape right here. Another Smasher. Can Thought Knots here. Wait, does this matter? We can double block this Smasher. No, yeah, I think I'd rather them take the Apparition because no, I'm an idiot. I should have discarded this. I obviously should have discarded the Apparition, which is what they're gonna take with the Thought Knot. I'm an idiot. That's brutal. I still think we're fine. Because now we're gonna get double Reclaimer activation here. My opponent does not have good attacks. Good stuff, good stuff. We're definitely gonna get Vesuva. Pew! I guess I might draw exactly Vesuva here, so I shouldn't have done that. That's fine. Vesuva, copy this. You don't have a board. Whoops, made a mistake there. I guess it doesn't matter. Yeah, I think I'm gonna attack. Because I'm gonna wasteland their Ancient Tomb, so... yeah, their Ancient Tomb or their... yeah, I'm just gonna take the Ancient Tomb. Fire beats Eldrazi, yeah. Lava beats Eldrazi, I guess. Molten Pinnacles is where it's at, I hear. Force sounds good, Knight of Autumn sounds good. This guy could be okay on the play. I don't think I like it on the draw. Bog is bad. Thalias are bad. So I guess... Oof seems okay. Like, it's bad, but it's probably okay. It's either Archon or Shifting Ceratops. Ceratops is basically like a 4-mana trade with your... 4-mana trade with your Smasher or Thought Knot. They're probably bringing in a Ratchet Bomb. It's possible. It is possible. We also get to play the combo, right? So do I want Ceratops? Ceratops. I guess it is Shifting Ceratops, so it's Ceratops. Okay, I'm gonna start using that now. So do we want Ceratops or do we want Archon? I think I'm gonna want Ceratops on the draw and maybe Archon on the play. Maybe on the play, Archon can come down early enough to be relevant. It's the sizing, right? Like 2-3 is just such an awkward size against this deck. Ugh. Yeah, let's mulligan this. If we don't find another land, we just straight up lose. So I like this. So we're gonna keep this. Bottom Besuva. Eldrazi has trouble with flyers. I don't think that I care about attacking them as much as I care about them not attacking me. Yeah, this seems like the game that I want to play. I think I waste again. Brutal. I'm gonna once upon because we might find an ETB tapped land there. We didn't. We found the Heath. But this, like, Zenith now makes a 3/4 Reclaimer. So let's get a snow-covered forest. No, let's get a Heath, actually. Now we're gonna be able to Zenith for a Reclaimer, which just stops their offense. Oh, come on. They just have all the natural land drops. Just give me a break here. Basic forest and I think basic plains here. We could do another basic forest too. Yeah, let's do another basic forest actually. Let's go get Reclaimer. I mean, it's 2 mana, 3/2, right? It's basically broken. Blocking Reclaimer because now it's not a 2-turn clock, right? If I had led the 6 damage through there, now my opponent next turn would have had lethal. That is a problem. Would have loved to have found a land there. Yeah, this is basically a forced play here, right? Their hand is Chalice. They should probably Chalice for 2. Oh, they just drew another Thought Knot. Well, that's probably game. Yeah, that's game. Womp womp. Alright, so now we have to be on the play. So Archon seems a lot better now. Do we even want Force of Vigor? I guess I kind of do. Yeah, sure. Yes, please. Yes, please, and thank you. Yes, please, and thank you. If we have a reasonable draw... If we have a reasonable draw, and we're on the play, it seems really tough for my opponent to be able to win. Like, really, really tough. Maybe we'll find a... Maybe we'll find Flagstones of the Once Upon a Time. How sweet would that be? I think I'm gonna fetch first. Because, like, I'm gonna be playing Reclaimer regardless. There's nothing I can find off of this Once Upon a Time that will make me not want to play Reclaimer on turn 1, so... and I'm gonna be fetching a Forest also regardless to play around Wasteland, so... Seems good to me to fetch first to get me a virtual 1 card closer to a Flagstones. Or another fetch land. Another fetch land would also be good because it would mean that I can just make a Reclaimer a 3/4. Wasteland would be interesting, but probably not something that I'm interested in just yet. Alright, opponent. Really struggling with those mulligan decisions. They move to 6. Alright, I figure it out. So, fetch. Basic Forest. Once Upon a Time. Never lucky. We did find a Misty though. Misty or... we're just gonna get Misty. Reclaimer. So even if they kill this Reclaimer, we can see it for a Reclaimer, so still fine. They have this member. Brutal. Gross. Worst draw in the entire deck. Worst draw possible. No blocks, thank you. Yes. Now what? Thought not? Lol. Oh no, this is Endless One. Which is kind of whatever. Plains. Get another Flagstones. Feels bad, man. So we're gonna get to start triggering Field of this coming turn. So we're gonna be taking 4 here. And that's gonna be the last damage that we're gonna be taking. What's up, big monkey? How's it going? We could also wasteland then. We field here. No, fielding is better because we just get double the zombies. Interesting. Sure, let's play that one. So let's play that one. And let's sack right now. Things looking good for us. Wasteland's gonna be a little bit delayed. Not too worried about it. Unless they have land into land all this dust. It's a land. We could get dusted, I guess. Karn the Great Creator. Yep, that's a card. Gogo Ryu, thank you for the follow. What you gonna do, Karn? Tell me. What you gonna do? They only have 4 mana, so I'm not that worried about what this card can really do. Biting Needle, maybe? Or Spyglass? They don't have attacks. We do. We can clear the card if we want. They don't have Lattice mana. Even if they did, it wouldn't matter. Because we're still getting zombies regardless. Yeah, I don't know what they can really have here. Didn't send my some notification. That's very weird, Javqua. Thank you for subscribing. I had the same issue yesterday, and I have no idea why. Just like somebody also subbed, and I got no notification, and then like 2 minutes later, somebody else subs, and I do. It's just like, why? Why is this going on? Let's see the Reclaimer. So what they got is Ensnare Bridge. Trying to see how I'm gonna line up my attacks. Do I want to go all face? Like this card doesn't do anything, right? So we attack with all of this. This guy doesn't do anything. I think we just go face with everything. Maybe not the Reclaimer. So all of this attack them. They can block, take 8. We set up lethal for next turn. Is there a reason to play this guy? So now the Ancient Tomb, they can't tap for mana. So that was probably a mistake from them, actually. That didn't seem like a great line. Now they're locked out of their own mana situation. I guess that means that I'm not scared of all this dust, so... Because this makes it a lot harder for them to empty their hand, because now they're down 2 mana. I don't think there's anything this card can do for 2 mana. Grim Monolith. Okay, that is something. That resolves. Are they going to be able to empty their hand? They are. Wow. They were able to empty their hand. Alright, we do have a lot of draws from here. So I'm just gonna start wastelanding them. Plow. I guess I could plow this. It draws me a card, but it gains them life, and I can't attack them down. So if I whiff on the draw, then we are actually in trouble. So let's not do that, I guess. But this forces them to draw a land every single turn, and it seems like they whiffed. Yep. All right. Sweet. Yeah, it seems like if our hand is functional in any way, like what our deck is doing is just more powerful than what they are. Also, it seems like such a weird Karn deck, right? Maybe it is a version of Eldrazi that is not playing Mimics, because I didn't see Mimic any one of the 3 games that we played. So maybe they're not playing Mimics and they're playing that instead. They're playing Karn the Great Creator. Man, this hand is close. I think I'm gonna shape it. It's just too many lands. I think I'm gonna shape it. It's just not enough lands. This hand is perfect. Awesome. So keep this one, bottom that one, and bottom. Nope. Not bottom that one. I guess I'm gonna bottom the Thalia. The reason to bottom Thalia is that if this is like we're gambling here, right? Is Thalia good in the matchup, or is Swords to Plowshares good in the matchup? That's like the 2 things that we're trying to figure out here. And we have no information, and we can't get any information, so we're just basically gambling. So the difference is that I can get a Thalia off of this once upon a time if this happens to be a Thalia matchup, and I cannot do the same with Swords to Plowshares. So I think that it's correct for me to do that. How can you submit a deck for a deck? Take just copy a link of a like MTG Goldfish list or whatever. Should I? Or is this the line? They went turn 1 Snow Covered Island. I think I'm gonna go for the Thalia actually. Obviously it might backfire, but Daze seems fine. Force also fine. Land into Bolt, not so fine. Island is what my opponent has to do here. I think I'm gonna pass. And we're gonna start playing the Reclaimer game. Particularly because we missed the land drop, obviously. You sub for nothing popped up. I know, W. It's like I've been having this issue, but yeah, thank you so much, dude. Thank you so much for the subscription. Welcome to the Primetime Stronghold. Thanks for the radio night. Dude, my pleasure. Awesome to see you streaming again. When is it right to steal it for Dry Arbor? I mean, it's just such a it's such a situation by situation basis. I don't know if I can give you like a yeah, whenever this happens, do this, you know, kind of thing. I just don't think it works in that way. Counterbalance. Okay. I mean, they don't have... They don't have white determinants just yet. And we miss a land drop again. This is brutal. They know that I have a Thalia in hand, so I'm gonna bait with this. Of course, we were super punished by keeping the source over the Thalia, because we missed the land drop that we could have gotten with the other Once Upon a Time. This deck is pretty good against Miracles. I don't know. It's my first time playing the matchup, so I couldn't tell you. I hope that it is. Having Thalian fielded that. Yeah, I mean, there's Terminus and stuff, right? So it's not that clear cut. There's also Oko. Like, there are many cards in my opponent's deck that makes things weird for us. Got it, Tundra. I think we're just gonna get another Flexstones. Drawing land would be pretty good. Scavenging use. So they shuffled. Monastery Mentor was revealed. I think we're just gonna pass. Maybe they're able to get like a couple of Monk tokens. Just get Valakut? Yeah. So step number 1. Source of Plowshares here. Revealing a land. This is close. They just let it go. They just let it go. One of these. I actually should have attacked first there. Because now we don't have attacks. Pitching Days. Wow. Was not expecting my opponent to be playing Days. We know they're drawing a Strand, so that's good for us, obviously. Play a land. Just pass the turn. And now we can get field going. Probably sacrificing this Dryad Arbor. Predict. Ugh, prediction upkeep's pretty gross. So they're gonna draw 2. And they're gonna be in the Flooded Strand, which is a dead draw. Yikes. It's pretty good for them. Pretty good for them there. So, Forest. I think I'm just gonna sack the Arbor. Like, the 1/1 is not doing anything, and... Hello there. Let's attack first. No blocks. Okay. Then we... Once upon... Mystic Sanctuary goes on top. Snow-covered forest. I like where this is going. So now we have Reclaimer activation. We can go get another field. I think we're in okay shape here. Back to basics would be a little bit of a pain. It would also kind of lock my opponent out a little bit too, which is funny. So predict on top. Another mentor. Jeez, 3 mentors? Library. So they have a predict on top. They can't really do that much though, right? Since pretty close to Mother as far as money goes. Yep. It's one of the nice things. So they have a 2 on top. So we can't play 2s. We can't play 2s. Let's find a Dryad. Just find more 2s. Damn it. All of these zombies are dispensable, but I think that the Thalia is not. The Thalia is actually slowing my opponent down a little bit, so let's do this. The only expensive cards that this deck has as opposed to Modern are the 2 Savannas that I'm playing and the 4 Wastelands. Everything else is just Modern cards or pretty cheap Legacy cards like Zenith, Once Upon a Time. These are pretty cheap. Library is also pretty cheap. I have no idea how expensive Mindbreak Trap is in paper, honestly. Those are the only cards, I think. Lots of monk tokens. Beating Force of Negation makes sense. Another counterbalance. So we're gonna get Vesuva here to copy field, I think. Talia might make trap 2 euros. There you go. Pretty cheap. I guess we might still want this card. No, but I think I like the mana better, so let's just bin the bog. Vesuva field. More zombies. Thalia is actually doing a sick amount of work here, yep. Mentor not able to keep up with triple Field of the Dead. Thalia did a lot of work there. Okay, so Veil seems good. Plow, I guess I'm gonna have to leave a couple, but it's not great. That's fine, this is fine. Shifting Ceratops and Force are interesting, but I wouldn't call them like a slam dunk. Like I kind of want them, but it's not like insane or something. Wasteland can probably go. Maybe want Bog for Mystic Sanctuary purposes. Definitely want Caracas to have the Caracas Thalia thing going. What else? What else? Ramina? Maybe it's a little bit medium. You have Valak and Azure Mountains on the battlefield? Oh yeah. This card is weird, right? Library 60? Yeah, that's why I pointed out Library as one of the expensive ones. But like this list is not even playing. Like Caracas was reprinted a couple of times, so it used to be very expensive, now it's not. We're not even playing like expensive cards like Cavern of Souls, which I was playing in my original lists, but they just proved to not be what I want to do. I think I'm just gonna cut all the plows actually. We can just out zombie the mentors. Or we can just apparition them. What's up, Greco? Doing great, playing nice little brewski. I think I'm gonna cut the knight. Just a little bit lackluster. Reclaimer's just better knight. Okay, I think I'm gonna keep this. We have to watch out because my opponent had bases in their deck. How do you find this version of the deck? It's been a lot of fun. This is the 4th league that I'm playing with it so far. Another Flagstones. I guess I'm gonna get the Ceratops. Playing the Thalia on 2 is pretty nice at making room for... I think I'm actually gonna get the Thalia. Because it kind of sets up the Sylvan Library pretty nicely. Might try Reclaiming Legacy just to play Once Upon a Time again. Yeah, Once Upon is a fun card. It's definitely too good for Modern, but it's perfectly fine for Legacy. Oh, now you show up. Damn it. Basic Forest. Definitely playing Thalia here. My opponent wants Daze. They don't want to Daze. So next turn we're going to be able to Reclaimer plus Library, which is pretty nice. So I guess it's just going to be Swords of Plowshares. Sure. Oko could be a problem. Should I have played Archon there? Maybe I should have played Archon there. This mentor is very threatening though. That's a lot of damage. You see the respect for the Reclaimer, right? Like my opponent could have, they could have forced the library, and instead they waited and they ended up forcing a Reclaimer. It's a lot of respect for a Reclaimer, and rightfully so. Okay, so we're gonna get one library trigger. Well, we can't ooze because there's explosive, so I think we're just gonna have to Archon here. So put this on top and put Ceratops on top. But I think that this mentor just presents too much pressure. It just represents too much pressure. Don't have a plow. That's pretty good too. Are we just dead here? We might be just dead. So they make this into an elk. Swing for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's not a good play. Never mind, that's a great play. Wow, so my opponent's not playing Miracles, they're just playing Turbo Mentor. They're just playing Turbo Mentor over there. And we probably can't beat all of this. Okay, so I feel like I want some number of Swords of Plowshares, actually. Like, my opponent's way too all in on this Mentor plan. So we probably might need some answers to that. Scavenging is probably worse than I think it is. And maybe Bog is bad. Maybe Ceratops is actually not where I want to be. Unfortunately, I'm too afraid of back to basics, so I don't think I can cut down on like Knight of Autumn / Force of Vigor. I think with all of Dardim. Yep, it's not gonna cut it. I'm gonna keep this one, bottom the Arbor. Easy. Sabana. Let's just play around it. Play around back to basics. I have the plow. Yep. Seen it for Reclaimer. Did you just register your Modern Green White deck, but play some cards with strictly better legacy only versions except for Temple Garden? Yeah. Why is it so hard to believe? It doesn't sound even weird to me, it's just logical. It's just common sense to make that thing, to make all of that happen. They chose to not shuffle, so they probably have, they don't have Blau. Huh. Terminus. They did a Terminus. They had a stop in the draw step though. Not playing Savannah doesn't sound logical to me. Well, there's this card called Field of the Dead, and it rewards you for playing cards with different names. And there's this card called Flagstones of Trocair, which allows you to fetch for planes. So that's it. That's the only explanation I got for you there. Do we just continue doing nothing? Yeah, you're good, Yost. I kind of don't want to overextend into a Terminus. And they also kind of have to respect this Reclaimer. Am I insane for wanting to knight the Ashray? I think so, yeah. I think so. I think this has a lot more value, and also if I knight, I don't Reclaimer. But what I could do here, which is the only reason why I'm actually thinking right now, is because I could go get a second. I could go get a second Reclaimer. That's the only reason why I'm tanking here, and second Reclaimer sounds pretty good because it's going to make sure that next turn I'm going to start getting zombies. The problem is like I would be playing into Terminus super hard, but I'm not getting got by Swords to Plowshares. I think I might have to. I think I just might have to, unfortunately. So if they have Terminus, they need to have exactly Terminus on top of their deck, which would be pretty bad. Or maybe they brainstorm end step and they put the Terminus on top. That's what they're gonna do. Yeah. I played into it, but like the downside is that if they just have Swords to Plowshares, we just get super far behind. Yeah, there it is. Shit. It was well played for my opponent to bait me into this situation, obviously. First library is insanely good. Oh, why the one library? It's just really good. It's just a good card, basically. That's all that it is. They shuffled off the Ponder. Probably looking for lands, I assume. A second plow? A second library, you mean? I don't know. Honestly, there's an argument there for bouncing the clue while I cannot crack it. It's not bad. You could play a second one, but it says the first one is so good and you never want to draw a second one, and usually we are already pretty okay against the decks against which library is very good. So they still don't have Mystic Sanctuary active, which is important to note. But now they do. So they're going to put the Terminus on top, and now they can Terminus on my turn. Which is very likely what's going to happen. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to play Wasteland to get a trigger from the tracker. So we get the draw trigger. And then I'm going to attack both at the Fairy. Opponent very likely is just going to just draw into the Terminus that they put on top. Or not. I'm also okay with not. Crack Clue. Okay, so we just pass the turn. So they're going to Terminus on end step. And if they don't use their mana, I'm just going to Wasteland their Mystic Sanctuary on upkeep. They don't know the top of my deck. The card is shifting Ceratop, that's funny. But now their predict was just a 1/1, which is kind of okay for me. So they cast their Terminus. Just let them untap. We could Wasteland our own Flagstones. Mentor. start here. 1, 2, 3. This guy. Wee zombies. Second mentor. The blind predict just for the monk tokens. This is a blind predict. They have no idea what's on top. They just blindly named? How did they know? They didn't, right? It's the only 4-off left in their deck? And they just blindly named it? Wow. That's pretty sick. I think I want a Knight of Autumn. That thing. This is bad if they have... Okay, they don't have a cantrip. They can put Terminus on top if they want, but that like kills both of their mentors. Biting Needle. It's kind of whatever. They're gonna name it Reclaimer. Seems pretty bad. Also would predict on you, indicate sniping, you have no way of knowing what's on top of your deck. I never said that though. I never said that my opponent was sniping. A Wasteland is what they name. Okay, what counter magic could they have? They couldn't really have any counter magic, right? They could have a Force of Negation. Literally the only one that does anything here. They don't have it. It's a good one. Attack, 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 and attack. Oh, did it just miss lethal? I totally just missed lethal. I guess no, I guess it wasn't lethal. Sure, let's play the Reclaimer. Jaro SCGC, thank you for the Twitch Prime sub. Welcome to the Primetime Stronghold. Thank you for the support. For the past 6 months. 5 months, sorry. 5 months of support. Thank you for that. Maybe they had only a single Mystic Sanctuary? Yep. They only had a single Mystic Sanctuary because they could have gotten back the Terminus. I think I'm going to waste my own Flagstones to block if they attack with Dementors, because I don't want to randomly die, but I need both of my dudes to survive here. Oh, actually wasting my Flagstones doesn't do anything. Yeah, wasting Flagstones doesn't do anything. Brutal. So I guess I just have to chump. Let's chump with Dryad. Let's get close. When am I getting my Zombies versus Monks duel decks? I would play that game for sure. Okay, so my opponent wants to probably trade. Or if they have 2 instants, they're going to be able to trade up. Like I would just be chump attacking. Source to Plowshare is my Reclaimer. If they were going to do that, then that was 100% a mistake. They could have dealt 1 more damage. There was kind of no reason to doing that, really. Okay, so each one of this is lethal. So my opponent needs to chump block, but they're going to get... No, I guess that they're not going to trade. So let's serve with everyone. And we're going to play both. And it's rough, but we kind of have to hope that they can't go off like they just did. Thalia, Reclaimer. One, two, three, 4. So they can still cast like 4 cantrips. I'm trying to think whether this Wasteland is better being in play. Wastelanding Flagstones doesn't do anything, so that's not really an option. Because the only planes left in my deck is a Savannah, so I destroy this and I don't have the Wasteland, so that means that I have 6 differently named cards, and when I get the Savannah, it has the same name of this one, so That doesn't work. Could you not get a Valakut? When? My Reclaimer was summoning sick. So I think that this is actually more valuable, just blowing up the Tundra. Just blow up the drop. Alright, so they need to top deck something good here. I'm trying to play Wing Untitled again today. It's so much fun, but lost to 2 Shadow decks in a row. They just had one more dude than I had removal and didn't draw any Titans when it mattered. But beat Bonsai, nice. Block there and there. Got him! It's pretty great that usually Miracle style decks are awful matchups for Maverick, but somehow it felt okay for us there. Field of the Dead is a hell of a card. Streamloom Druid was an absolute household. Yeah, I've been consistently very impressed by Streamloom Druid. Playing for the 4-1, we have Splinter Twin with backup. Playing against Taxes. We can play around this Wasteland very easily. But we probably still want mana. Because on turn 3 we can Dryad plus activate Reclaimer. What's up, Adam? How's it going? Here for Titan in good place? Oh yeah, you're in the right place, my friend. You're in the right place. The tightest of place are to be found here. One important thing is that Mother of Runes, like if my opponent has a mom here, Mother of Runes can protect them from the apparition, but it cannot protect them from the Dryad triggers. Adam with the tier 1 sub. Okay. Guess we're not playing against DNT. Yeah, thank you so much for the sub, Adam. Appreciate it. You're awesome, dude. Yeah, we're definitely blowing up this Aether Vial. Ralphie Poe, thank you for that tier 1 sub. Welcome back to the Primetime Stronghold. It's been 8 months now. Fuck yeah. What am I getting here? Just another Flagstones? Sure, that sounds reasonable. Oh man, second Dryad. That's really tempting. That's really tempting, but I think it's pretty important to get rid of this Aether Vial. Now we can make Reclaimer a 3-4. Actually, that might have been a mistake. Maybe I should have played this before doing anything. Triple Wasteland draw, huh? Triple Wasteland draw in your Goblins deck. Reclaimer is the new Deathrite Shaman that just locks the Goblin lackeys. Yeah, let's do this. Nice lackey. If they want to waste me here, I encourage them to. If you want to waste my Winds of Heat, go ahead. And here... Just get another Flagstones. Let's just Flagstones them up. Thalia, I'm not particularly interested in casting here, I think. But I am kind of interested in serving. Turn 6, Aether Vial. Opponent cannot catch a break over there. Sack Flagstones. We're gonna get Field of the Dead here. Because it starts putting pressure, but it's something that if my opponent wastelands, I kind of don't care. So we're gonna go the field route. Let's fetch. Get a forest. Suck here. Get another field. More zombies. I have no idea what my opponent's not packing in. Maybe my opponent is one of those like never concede under any circumstances kind of players, which I always thought that it's, I don't know, it seems like a little bit silly to me. Like I don't really see the upside of like doing that. Like I have showed them all the information that I'm gonna show them, right? Like I don't know, I don't really see the point of continuing to play the game. Anyway, we want that one, we want this one. Probably Force. Cut Bog. Maybe I just don't want Force. Like we already have many answers to Vial. We even have Oof. I guess that Thalia is just awful, right? Yeah, okay, so I guess Thalia is awful. They just want me to enjoy the deck, yeah. Maybe they are not aware of this very powerful rule that it's called 104.3a. Maybe they're not familiar with that rule. Thoughts on Models F1 right now? Healthy and why? It's fine. Like it's okay. Like I think that it could be better, but I think it's not in a bad place. Boiling Hades, Boiling Hades or Hades. Thank you for the follow. So this hand is really gonna struggle against the turn 1 Lucky, huh? Been playing Green White Reclaimer variant for 8 straight leagues now, and every league I played has been 3-2. And advice for Infect Creature combo Uropile matchups. I'm starting to play bad with those. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. Safer. Infect, I don't think I have actually faced ever. I would imagine that Archon's pretty solid there, and you want to make sure that you have access to your Reclaimers early so you can go get Ghost Squatter, but I imagine that if they have a Blighted Agent hand, you're kind of toast. As far as the Europiles, I mean I could talk about way too long, and it's not the day to to be doing that really. But yeah, it's probably not a great matchup. What's the obvious best deck? I don't think there's any obvious best deck, but they're pretty solid options. They're pretty solid options, but there's no obvious best deck. The Udo Omnath piles are very good. and so are the prowess decks. So those are my current top contenders for best decks in the format. So the best draw here would be a Reclaimer. Okay. The best find here would be a Reclaimer. No Reclaimer. We can Zenith for it though. Separation. So we're gonna see it for Reclaimer. If they have the answer to it, that's gonna suck, but we kind of have to do this, I think. Just out of okay. Yeah, the 4-color soups are very good. Keeping a spreadsheet of wins and losses with Reclaimer for tuning purposes, but I don't think there's anything I can do aside from analyze data and playing tighter. Well, yeah, but it's like, it's such a match by match kind of situation that, I mean, I recommend going through my VODs and like seeing how I am approaching those matchups, but there's not really much else that you can really do. Gracias. I mean, I could kind of discuss it, but I don't know how productive that would be. Particularly when it's a stream that it's not really related to that, right? So this is a 2. I think I'm gonna value being able to activate Flagstones a little bit higher. And my opponent still has not showed me that they have an answer to this Reclaimer, and if they do, we can just plow this. Can they wasteland a Vesuva copy of a basic? No, they can't. That's why it's a very, very common play pattern to... whenever you're playing a Thespian stage deck, you would copy a basic that's in play. That way you protect the Thespian stage from wasteland. Just something that happens very often. I think we're going to Flagstone for Flagstones here. I wonder if they have like the cycling dude and they cycle targeting Reclaimer, hoping to draw into a 3-drop that they can violin in response to the 3 damage to the damage thing, so that they can push the Reclaimer through. That would be pretty sick, actually. So they can push the Lucky through. I mean, I wonder if that's something of what they're analyzing right now. What do you got here? Sure, got me. I'm not risking my opponent being able to get me here. So now they violin in a 3 and now they can cycle Gem Palm. But it doesn't really matter because Lucky's gonna die, which is what I care about the most. Muxus is fan and interactive. I don't know. I mean, they have to go get that, right? Like, what else are they doing otherwise? They got Muxus. Okay. That has to have been a mistake. Like, now I get to untap with Reclaimer. What? I have no idea what just happened, Chad. I have no idea what just happened. I think I'm just gonna copy my opponent's Wasteland. Just pass the turn. We have questions, opponent. Yeah, maybe my opponent was like, I got you, but I'm gonna let you go. You seem like a fun dude. I'm gonna let you have this one, you know? That kind of thing. 3 mana. Another Matron. Okay, now what? What you getting? Do we have Dark Durst combo the deck? No, Berman, we don't. So in response to the trigger, I think I'm just gonna plow this Sling Gang. Why not list one-offs? There's a deck building cost, right? It's not just free to put those cards out. Even as one-offs, it's not free to put them in your deck, because that means that you're not playing something else. I'm telegraphing this Wars to Plowshares very obviously, but it's fine. I don't like that play from OP. They know about my Skyclave, so... The only not free is one Dark Destination is pretty free. No. Have you played with this deck? Because the mana base is a mess. Like, the mana base is the weakest part of the deck. Your colors are not free whatsoever. In fact, your colors are very often pretty hard to get together. So I recommend you, if you're interested, I recommend you check out the deck and you see, like, the decisions that I made. If you see the previous videos that I have put out with this deck, you can actually see that it's not easy at all to make the mana work here. Legacy is your main format. Yeah, but like, have you played with this deck specifically? It doesn't matter what format you play the most often if you have not played this deck specifically, right? Which is kind of my point. So as long as they don't have... Shit. And just as I was about to say, as long as they don't have Skirk Prospector, we're gonna be fine. Funny. This is of course a mana ability, so we cannot respond to it. Alright. Do your worst. They got another Sling Gang. Shit. They also got Passion Mod. Okay, so this is actually lethal. There's nothing to see here. And I can't even respond to any of this. Yeah, they just found the nuts on top, so. Play poorly, get rewarded. Nothing to see here. Get your point for sure. Legacy is a lot about backup plans, and you play Vesuva. I figured Stage is slightly less good, but it has more options. Yeah, but it's also a lot slower, right? And for what I'm trying to do, Stage is so much slower than Vesuva. Like, Vesuva can fix my mana with Flagstones in the early game. Vesuva can immediately copy Field of the Dead to give me tokens. it can immediately copy Valakut to give me triggers. Like, Vesuva is a lot better than Stage in this deck, and Depths is just a dud without the other half. Already your mana is really, really rough, and just adding Depths just does not help you with your consistency. Unfortunately, I'm gonna keep this hand even though we have the worst card in the deck, but we just have Reclaimer into Flagstones. As usual, I'm gonna be playing fetching on turn 1 because it allows me to protect my Reclaimer, making it a 3/4 if I need to. It comes on top of this. Yeah, but that doesn't matter as much as the fact that it can do all the other stuff that I want it to do. Depth stuff for mana with Dryad. If you have Dryad, you're not gonna go get Depths, so we're still kind of in the same spot in that sense. Lightning Bolt. Turn 1, Lightning Bolt you, says my opponent. Well, let's see if you have another one like that one. Probably gonna get a basic Plains here. Badlands into Lightning Bolt. That sure is something. That's not something that you see every day, huh? Also a missequence there. I should have played the Flagstones first, I think. It would have given me more options for turn number 2. Reclaimer Park 2, Electric Boogaloo. Hell yeah. I also wonder if my opponent's playing Pyrokinesis. Turn 2, play land, say go, is good for me. Please play another Violent Pass or something like that. So your question is, have you tested Dark Depths or we just see the issues? I am not interested in testing Dark Depths because I've already seen the issues while playing this list as is. If that makes sense. Like, just by playing the deck, I know that I don't want Dark Depths. It's a way to put it. Which, by the way, I think it's something that happens very commonly, which is just like people coming out of nowhere and not having played the deck and then just assuming that something, because something is good. This have been really bad draws, by the way. Because something is good in a different deck in a completely different context, but the deck kind of looks like it could work. I'm just playing this just to develop my mana just as a 4/3. Which honestly there's nothing wrong with. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever by any means. But yeah, I'm just basically giving the reason why I think why I'm doing the stuff that I'm doing, which may or may not be obvious or easy to grasp on or whatever, you know. We don't need spells if we have active Reclaimer. To an extent, right? Like, yes, but also no at the same time, because we kind of need to kill my opponent before Moxes. Like, we can do all the stuff that we want, but then my opponent plays a Moxes and they get a little bit lucky, just like they did in the previous game, and like that's we're fucked, right? Like, that's it. End of the story. Main phase Munitions Expert. Okay. We're gonna get Gem Palm incinerated here, probably. Yep. Get a plains. Gonna get a Field of the Dead. I think the requirements for playing depths is it has to either be a depths deck or stage has to be good on its own. Yeah, that's an interesting way of putting it. Yeah, for sure. Brutal. So I can wasteland or wasteland here. So it's not terrible actually. That was out of all the medium draws that I could have had there. That was probably one of the better ones. And I think I'm interested in racing actually. This backfires terribly if my opponent goes land into the 4-drop. But like I feel like the pressure is on me to end the game. Because eventually my opponent is going to have like Prospector into Moxes. So I am the one that's feeling the pressure here. What about Maverick? It was in stage or depth deck, but played one-offs to great success, and that was before we had Reclaimer. Yes, but is Maverick a Field of the Dead deck? Is Maverick trying to cast Primeval Titan? They're just different decks. They both have Greensense in it, but you're still like over what's the word? Like you're glazing over very, very important facts that are what separates those decks from this one, right? So the Field of the Dead helps fight for more 6 one-offs. I'm playing Primeval Titan in my deck though. Something good, please. God damn it. At least next turn, I'm going to try to not fetch here, but at least next turn we can start doubling the zombie production. I'm still teach drums? Yeah, I do. Been teaching over a Zoom or Skype. Which has been okay. I definitely do enjoy a lot about, you know, the one-on-one interaction in person. I'm Argentinian after all. Like we are. I come from a culture where when you just meet somebody, you give them a kiss on the cheek, right? Like that's the that's the normal, right? So thoughts on Travis Barker as a drummer? I think that he is overrated, but I think that he's very, very good. Like I am personally a big fan of his stuff. He's very creative, very unique. Alright, so they got Scare Prospector, which probably means that we're fucked here. Please attack with something. I'm taking any trays that I can because I really want to not get Moxused. Any good tips to get a good roll going on the drums? My music because your teacher used to play them so fast it was crazy. Interesting question. I mean, it's all about practice and working on your technique, right? This is unbelievable. Wow. Wow, this is kind of insane, honestly. I'm just gonna wasteland their Black Swords. Wow. Try to keep them off mana. Yeah, that's my plan. While I'm continuing to clock them, I think that clocking them is pretty important here. Once upon a time, Fram got flooded while playing against a really bad Goblins player. I don't know if my opponent's bad. They've made a couple of bad mistakes, and they might just be new. I don't like saying that, you know, opponents are bad or whatever. It's just, I don't know. It's just kind of toxic. There's no need to say that kind of stuff. Kill their cover so we can counter their stuff. So we're probably dead to Amoxas here, which makes me very sad. Is something to do with the most toxic format aside from Vintage, of course? What do you mean, Stabs? Legacy has a great community. Super welcoming. Any format with toxic deluge is the most toxic. Wow. That's bad. If we draw Titan, we win. That's like the evergreen comment in this channel. They might just not have... I don't know, maybe they just don't have Muxas? There's no way they don't have Muxas. Isn't there a leather dick toxic CD? Toxic CD, yeah. Maybe I'm just thinking of the paper in the paper format. No, like even in paper, I've been... Every interaction that I have with Legacy community has been super welcoming. Your go intensifies. Oh yeah, you gotta love the your go comments. Alright. Muxus me, baby. My body is ready. Oh, ringleader. What did it reveal? That's really good. That is really good. That was a good ringleader. That was a good ringleader. Tracker. 1, 2, 3. We play this. We cycle. We can still draw into a plow. Get a munitions expert, the thingy. Oh man. Alright, give me that plow, baby. Source of Blushers off the top, right now. Right now, Source of Blushers. Right here. We've kind of whiffed, chat. So now they Matron for Moxus, and we are SOL. Sad face. Sad face indeed. Alright. Moxus me. I tried a few days to play a Legacy. I played against 3 show and tells in the league. We're frustrated. I went back to Modern. Yeah, getting paired against probably our absolute worst matchup 3 times in the same league doesn't feel bad. Doesn't feel particularly great. But we have Caracas at least. Yay! We're not straight dead yet, but we are very, very, very likely just dead. At this point, it's just luck. At this point, it's just luck. We need for my opponent to like not mux us into Pashalik Mons and the other guy, the 4-drop. Caracas to answer muxes. If they had muxes in their hand all along, then I just don't understand what they're doing. They're just like slow rolling me for no reason. I'm feeling kind of slow rolled here. If they just had the muxes all along. Which seems like they did. Because they could have muxes like 3 turns ago. And they didn't. And we could have punished them so hard too. Okay, so they can't mux us into muxes. Wait, what happened there? Oh, they found a Matron, which found Krenko. And they still have haste. Like, if we had drawn any source to plowshares, like, we had so many ways of winning this. Sad. So here comes Krenko. They're gonna get 6 more. They still have Glacky in hand. We have 6 blockers. One of which needs to go here. Do they not have lethal here? They have to have lethal. How do you feel about a cycle land in the deck, like Canopy or the Groves 2-mana cycle? I tried the 2-mana cycling ones, and it was pretty bad, so I ended up cutting it. And then just entering the battlefield tab was just too much of a cost. And then it could be, we could run Canopy. There's just like so many lands that I want to be running already. And you are like threading, like you just have so many requirements, which has been the main problem. You just have so many requirements, because like you need to get I'm only playing 3 Flagstones, for example. Like I wish I could play 1 more even. There's the Flagstones requirement. The Flagstones also requires you to play a reasonable amount of planes. I'm playing 5 right now. That's the only reason why I'm playing Temple Garden. So like your mana base is kind of like stretched in all of these different directions, that it makes things kind of weird. Please let me draw Valakut off the top. Please let me draw Valakut off the top. Chat, I need that Valakut off the top. Let me punish my opponent. Let me punish them, please. Please. Let me punish them, chat. They miss lethal, by the way, by not attacking with a Chieftain. Oh, no, I guess that they would have needed to sack, so I guess it wouldn't have mattered. Valakut. No. So the chump is forced as is, right? Because they have only 1 blocker. So if they block... I guess that we need to play one land first. Steffi Wiffy 215 with the tier 1 sub. Welcome back, Steffi, with the tier 1 subscription. I appreciate you being here. Thank you for the continued support. I guess we have to start with a land, right? 1, 2, 3 to play Dryad. 1, 2 to crack Clue. 1, 2 to crack Clue. 1, 2 to crack Clue. We're definitely not using Verdant. But I'm thinking whether I want to play the Dryad Arbor or not. So let's start by playing Caracas. And drawing from Clue. Well, attack everything. They also sack the Krenko. In before Slinga, Lieutenant, and nothing that we did mattered. Just wait for it. Matron into Lieutenant. I'm ready. They didn't uptick the Vial? So Lucky is one of their cards. We know about that. Don't have a Matron or a Slingan. Come on, opponent. Give me a break here. Also, they are 12 minutes behind on clock. I guess 11. Creative Maker is fine. It doesn't do anything. So we just win? Sick. Whew. We got away with murder here. They're probably bad at MTGO. Like, yeah, it's possible as well. Yeah, we should have not won that last match. Our opponent, lucky for us, kind of threw that game away. But sweet. We got a 4-1. Not bad, not bad. Such a hard throw. Yeah. My opponent kind of threw that game away. That's cool though. Foil Skyclad came in the mail, quadrupled in price since I bought them at pre-order. Nice, nice. Why would you not play Catacombs as your land before attacks? Because I was at 1. I was at 1. Like I don't know what my opponent can have on the other end, right? So if I go to 1 and my opponent top decks something that gives haste to the tokens, right? And I have like 1 less blocker than I should. I was at 2. Yeah, I was at 2, but like I don't want to go down to 1. I don't really think bashing on people for slow play is fair since they could be playing with a ham sandwich. We don't know their... Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I was playing lands the other day on MTGO, skipped my attack like a god. Yeah, it happens. I have also misclicked into losses myself, and I have been playing MTGO for like 6 years now, and I still misclick into losses. So, yeah. It is. It is what it is. Okay. Containment Priest. Containment Priest. Is that something we're interested in? We were talking about the show and tell format and how bad it is. How do we feel about Containment Priest? Hmm. Remember the only thing to the master and novice is that the master has failed more times than the novice has tried. That is such a great phrase, Kimpochi. That's I'm totally gonna be using that in the future. That's like some it just came out of nowhere and just dropped some serious wisdom right there in chat. Damn. Out of nowhere and just dropping the hammer just like that. So the issue I have with containment priest is that of course it just blanks our CNETs, but that's fine. That's like a cost I'm willing to accept, but we would naturally have to draw it. Also, I don't know how high I am on shifting Ceratops. The presence of Goif and what's his name? Goif and Honey Mandrills makes me not so excited about the shifting Ceratops. Maybe we can leave one, but I feel like I would like something like Path to Exile or just like removal of that kind against the Delver strategies. Get your deck to another. Did you submit a deck? You have to give me the link as well, Asim. I didn't see it. But yeah, we can do the deck tour another time. Just remind me and just click the just submit the link. Edict effect gets around the Emrakul protection. Yeah, I'm not too worried about the Emrakul protection because like Palace Jailer gets around it, Fiend Hunter gets around it. Like we have a lot of options in that department that are just better than an Edict effect. Palace Jailer, in fact, was one of the cards that I was really wanting to fit into the deck, but I just couldn't. We could also just like not run Veil of Summer. Seems crazy to not play Veil of Summer. I just legit think that Path to Exile is the better card against Delver. This is rough. This is rough. There's like so many cards that I wish I had room for because they just tackle our bad matchups in different ways. So let's just cut the Ceratops all together and... Maybe we can cut Surgical. I don't like cutting a Surgical though. Like against some matchups, like Surgical is kind of a must. And it's a lot faster than Containment Priest. Might be worth it. Did we just play against all fair decks this league? I think we just played against all fair decks. Choke. Choke doesn't really work well with Dryad of the Elysian Grove. And again, I'm not too worried about the blue decks. I think that Veil of Summer is good, but I also don't think that I would be playing Choke against Delver. By the time Choke comes down, like we have 4 ramp, right? There's only 4 ways that allows us to play choke on turn 2, so like we play the game a lot slower. Like we're not Maverick or Elves or something like that. Like choke is great in those decks. It's probably not that good for us. Plus, of course, like there's the massive dyssynergy with Riot, obviously. Should be advanced to this, but is depth stage not good enough to win in third lots of this deck? The mana is bad. That's the only short answer. I have a lot of cards that I want to fit. People underestimate how many slots the whole Flagstones engine requires, right? Like I don't want to be playing Temple Garden, right? This is not a card that I'm excited to have in my deck. It's a card that I have to have in my deck because of this card, right? So I think that is probably like the single most underestimated thing here is how many slots the Flagstones engine requires of you. I did like the main deck a lot though. I don't think I want to be making any choices in the main deck for now.